Hey friends, it's Sue Saller here coming at you with another Wednesday Wisdom. And for this week, I want to talk about a very interesting conversation that I had with a friend of mine around values, around core values, and what our core values were and why we had those. So I want to throw out to you today and ask you the question, what are your core values? What are those things that embody who you are? What are those few words that drive you day in and day out? Now, I have to be honest with you. At first, when I thought about values and when somebody actually asked me, what are your core values? And I'm going back a couple of months now. In all honesty, I had a tough time answering the question. So I decided to Google, core values and what core values would be. And it turns out that there are a lot of core values that somebody can embody, actually, over 100 of them. So I started doing a little bit more digging and started thinking about the word values and what my core values were and how I found them. And I started looking at what I do day in and day out and how I wanted my life to be constructed. So I ask the same questions to you as you're listening to me. What are your core values? What are those things that you embody that construct your life? So for me personally, I came up with the top 4 core values for myself in this season of life. And I say it that way because if you had asked me this question 20 years ago and I was looking for what my core values were, they were slightly different than what they are today. And you know what? That's okay. So for me personally, my 4 core values for this season of life are freedom, empathy, tenacity, and transparency. So my highest core value is freedom. And really, where that comes from is my desire to create a life that I want on my terms. That's it. That's how I define freedom for me. Now, you might define it a little differently, but that's how I define it for me. My second core value is empathy. You know, to feel the emotions of others and to connect with them and then ultimately encourage them to become the best version of themselves is really something that I seek to do day in and day out. One of my mottos that I live by, my ultimate is that I always want to leave people in a better place than when I met them. And I do that through listening, and I do that, and I believe it comes across in empathy. My third core value is tenacity. So for me personally, I usually don't give up. I will work hard. I will figure out how to solve a problem. I will go until the completion of whatever it is that I started on. I'm also tenacious in a way that if there's something that I want, I generally will go after it and see what I can do to accomplish that goal. And then finally, my fourth core value is transparency. I believe in authenticity. I believe in being real when I'm in the presence of others. I show up for them and, it just kind of comes through, whether it's in a podcast, whether I'm in person, whether I'm speaking one-on-one with somebody. So those are my 4 core values for this season of life. Now, are they my only 4? No, they're not. I probably have other ones, but those are the 4 that come to mind. So I leave you today with a little bit of a homework assignment, and I really challenge you to think about, what are your core values? What do you live by? What are your core values? So until next time, friends, thank you so much for joining me, and make today awesome.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Small Steps, Big Wins podcast. I value your time with me and I seek to make every moment count. In order to make lasting change in your life, listening is usually not enough. So I want to ask you, what practical steps are you going to put into action today as a result of listening to this podcast? Remember, any step, any action, no matter how small, starts your journey to a big win. And if you're not sure where to get started, reach out to me and let's have a conversation. Until next time, love yourself, then love others. Peace.